Okay.
Hello, this is Mark with Richard from the UK, and we are here to give weekly update number 2 in regards to Greater Life for All. And this time, basically, just so you know about us, I'm calling from, Florida here in the US of A, and Richard is out of the UK. And we met in this reasonable program that's been created by Thomas Cassidy. And we've taken it upon ourselves to give a weekly update about things that are going on with the overall, Greater Life for All concept. And right before we went live, Richard was explaining to me that actually I really do think can be very useful. So I'm going to give you over to Richard. Here's Richard.
Hey, thank you, Mark, for that standing ovation. Yeah, right. Okay, guys. Well, you got the message online the other day and through the email. So I have had a couple of replies. Rolene would like a mention. She's been translating a book about stopping smoking, and she's doing that with the help of beloved Naya. And Tom thinks that they should make a program out of it. John Varghese has finished his contribution to the Greater Life for All book that's going to be published later in the year. His chapter is going to be all about creativity. And myself, still waiting to hear from the GP about the Udemy course that I'd like to do on Health for Life. I think he's a little bit anxious about the time that it might take for him. I suggested to give value to course participants that he jumped on a live Q&A hangout about an hour a week. Still waiting for feedback about that. In the meantime, I started the ball rolling on a 13 by 4 for married couples, which I'm hoping is going to be a great success in the future. Just started, long way to go, but picked up loads of relevant resources. And if anybody wants to chip in, say a word, or have any pointers, please do drop us an email. I've enrolled on Tom and Andrew's course, Essentials for Relationship Mastery, which is also proven very helpful. Yeah, so lots of exciting things happening. Mark, do you want to say something?
Yes, I want to also share that Rich and I were talking about, Greater Life for All, because there's a lot of, questions that people seem to have about, Greater Life for All. And as the saying implies, we could break it down into 2 components. And one component is greater life. The other component is for all. So a greater life is like, what's, a greater life for, what's a greater life? What does the term greater life mean? And there are people, right, that live a greater life. And what does that mean? And the thing is that you have to figure out what that greater life is. Rich, is something to add to greater life?
Yeah, absolutely. I think far too many people are focused on themselves and meeting their needs and have these concepts running around their heads like their time is their money, and living on the competitive plane, and the idea of being on a creative plane where there's abundance, where people are prosperous and generous and charitable, is just totally alien. And before Mark and I came online, I explained that in the past I've given thousands away in cars, and Randy's given her cars away and stuff. And that's to people whom we felt needy and deserving, and we had the means to do that. And I think that, if we just operate on the basis of right, what's in it for me? How can I become prosperous? I think we're missing the bigger picture, and I think the greater life for all, that the heart of greater life for all is self-explanatory. It is about offering products, services, information, whatever, to help facilitate a greater life for all, more opportunities. I hear a lot of ka-chinging over there. It's not all about money. um, but, yeah, it's like there are some people who say it's not what you know, it's who you know. You know, and I think that you know, people are mag. Oh, God, I've got to plug in my power source. Sorry, that just proves that this is definitely live. Yeah, I think we need to be asking ourselves, you know, at the beginning and the end of each day, what is a greater life for all? What does it look like? What's it mean in terms of our relationships with partner, children, people at work? How can we be the difference? How can we be the people that makes a brighter, more positive day for people? And we've picked up lots of tools on the way through Tom Cassidy and Angelo's course, Everyday Mind Mastery, and the Advanced Everyday Mind Mastery. And there's no limits that what we can do to be a positive, influential wherever we go. And I'm stumbling. You know, these things are live, and we talk off the cuff, and I think that I'm going to pass it back to Mark for a moment whilst I mull over.
Okay, so greater life is your interpretation of what a greater life actually is, and people are living a greater life every moment of every day. And we could be living our own greater life, and it does, you know, make things a lot better if you know what that greater life actually is. And the thing is that you have to look from within, because only you know, or I only know what my greater life actually is. And then another component is, for who? Well, greater life for all, we're talking about for all. So if I'm thinking about greater life for all, and I'm thinking about something that is for everybody, not just for me, it's kind of like it's easy to comprehend, but pretty tough to implement because of the fact that, a lot of us, and I've been brought up in this what's in it for me mentality. I have to look out for myself. I have to, it's like trusting and everything like that. And the greater life for all concept is like what you want, like you want for everybody else. And everybody else wants the same thing for everybody else. So like if I want, like for instance, if I want love, well, it's great to have love for yourself. You can love yourself, and you can love yourself a lot. But you're only loving yourself. But you're giving the love to somebody else is receiving that love, and they're feeling it, and you're sharing. And then that person can feel the love because of somebody else. So it just goes on and on, like just expressing love, There's a lot of 12-step programs, the anonymous programs, like Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, a lot of anonymous programs. And one of the biggest things about this program is like sponsoring somebody. So you work with someone that's new in the program, and you give away what you got. And the beauty is that you get a lot more when you give something away than when you keep it for yourself. Like you could have a lot of knowledge, and if you don't, it's great to have a lot of knowledge, and to keep this knowledge to yourself you're only really benefiting from all the knowledge. But if you're sharing the knowledge with somebody else, actually you're benefiting more because you're helping somebody and the person's also benefiting as well. And then to carry the chain on, this person going to somebody else and to somebody else. So, you know, it spreads the message of whatever it is. And
I just want to chip in there, Mark, and just kind of affirm what you're saying, really, because it's much easier to relate to people who know who they are and why they're here and their purpose. It's not so easy dealing with people who are a little bit muddled and unsure. And in those instances, I think it's best to reflect what we see back to them and give helpful, constructive questions so they can get a handle on what's going on in their core. And the other thing I wanted to say about what's in it for me and looking beyond that to the greater life for all. I think that you know, life would be a lot safer and a friendlier place when we adopt and run with the attitude of desiring greater life for all. Einstein said something very interesting. One of the famous guys, I think it was Einstein, said that those who live in a friendly universe live longer than those who live in an unfriendly universe. And I think once we realise that, you know, ultimately there's only one true and living God, and He's for us, and for people who acknowledge that and accept that, that really, no matter what life comes your way, once you're trained on Him, focused on Him and a greater life for all, you'll get the answers you need. Many people get stuck about doing new things because they don't know the hows. They have noble intentions, good desires, but they get on the stuck on the hows. Well, I need this, I need that, and the others. How am I going to do it without this money or those people or whatever? And I think it's been absolutely extraordinary, the people that are coming into our lives through participating in the reasonable communities, through being open and transparent about our learnings and discoveries with other people. It's really interesting that the number of followers I have on G+ now, people I've never known before, and people, really, really talented people. After our last episode, sharing about Tom's thoughts about taking Greater Life for All on tour, I had somebody completely out of the blue follow me who's got so much relevant experience. They spent 20 years on tour, supporting shows, media production, and whatever. So, you know, all the resources, human resources, finances, whatever we need, they're out there. I think it's for us to broadcast the vision. I have an analogy, and it's a bit like a tall ship. So one of those ancient tall ships with, you know, 2 or 3 masts and the big sails, and it basically goes nowhere when the sails are down. It only goes somewhere when the sails are up, when they're visible, when they're in sight, and when the wind comes along and hits those sails, then the whole boat moves forward. So I think we really have to raise up the sails, the vision, what Greater Life's all about. And please do, viewers, people watching this, if you feel a bit uncomfortable about joining us online, or you've got a lot on your plate, please do take time to process what Mark and I are sharing from our hearts to yours, it really significantly makes a big difference. Um, you know, I feel as though I'm getting to know Mark personally through these Hangouts and through WhatsApp groups, and I'm sure he feels the same. It was lovely in posting pictures and even getting me live at his party last night. It was fantastic. So, yeah, I mean, we're not computer nerds or geeks. We're real people, just like you, with or without jobs, with or without husbands, wives, whatever. And we want to make this as easy for you to join and participate and be a part of the growth. Greater Life for All, we envision becoming a global social movement. Um, you know, we can reach people through these Hangouts. We have a website up that Steve Lights produced for us, um, and there could be Facebook channels and Twitter channels and blogs and all sorts of things that come back to this. But you can make the difference, and not just to your lives and those around you, but across the whole wide world. We're all interconnected. We're all related to one another in some small way. It's just amazing. I was with a certified GAPS practitioner, GAPS practitioner the other day, and she was explaining to my wife and I that there was an experiment done where some people took saliva samples from a guy watching a TV in one room, and they took those samples to other rooms, and basically those saliva samples were affected close by, at a distance, or even at the other side of the world, thousands of miles away. Now, what does that say? What does that say about the nature of the universe, the reality? That tells me that, you know, there was no telephone calls between the cells in a saliva sample to the cells thousands of miles away, and that they were affected simultaneously in real time. You know, there are dimensions of this universe that we are on the tip of the iceberg about. And I think the more passion we put into broadcasting good news, news that will help us improve our health, help us improve our mental health, spiritual health, health generally, and our wealth. So much of wasted money for inefficient action. And if you want to learn more about efficient action and thinking in a certain way, please do seriously consider taking up on Tom and Andrew's Advanced Everyday Mind Mastery course. We don't get anything out of this. We're not on commission, whatever. We're doing this because it's really working for us, and we know it can work positively for you, family and friends too. Want to make the world a better place? This is going to run on a weekly basis. It's going to get better and better. If people want to chip in with you know, comical sketches, video clips for us, please submit them. And I was thinking the other day we were doing a competition for people watching this and say, right, okay, you send in your clips, your quotes with lovely background images, and maybe next week or a month's time, Mark and I and the other Greater Life for All moderators will look over them and see who's best. And who knows, we might come up with a really pleasant surprise for you. Mark?
Awesome stuff, Richard. We like to have fun as well, and I like what Richard said. And the thing is, with any good thing, you want, at least for myself, I want people to benefit from, good things as well. And, the whole concept of Great Life for All, we're very into it. I'm doing my best to actually live it in my daily life more and more, and talking about other people. And also the whole thing is, to sum things up or whatever, is like, find something that you enjoy to do. And don't worry about how am I going to make money doing this. But if you really enjoy something, I really enjoy this. I like talking to people. I like helping people out. I really enjoy it. It gives me a lot of joy. I do it in my spare time. I don't mind what times I do it or whatever. I really like it. And it brings me happiness and everything like that. And that's all that matters. It's not about the money. I don't think that, Greater Life for All is about the money. My mom is here and just sharing how her boyfriend is 88 years old, has a very successful business, and he still works. He loves what he does. It's his life, That's what Greater Life for All is. It's finding something that gives you joy, but also that you're doing for other people as well. So you've got a family business, it's for family, grandchildren, and that's wonderful stuff. That's all we're talking about here is what is it that you really, they couldn't pay you enough to do it because you love it so much, you do it for nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. If you're worried about money and how I'm going to make money doing it, that's all you're going to be worrying about is money, how I'm going to make money. The competitive plane. You're always competing for a limited amount because you create the limited amount. There's plenty of people that achieve a lot of success, multi-millionaires, but they live in the scarcity, the mindset, the competitive mindset, because they have to compete to get it all. But there's enough for everybody. There's enough of everything for everybody. And that's what Greater Life for All actually is all about. Tom, who's created the Reasonable Program, who's sharing how he's coming out with an app for, the mobile phone industry, stuff like that. People can use in the App Store, and it includes different types of programs coming out. We'll have more updates about that, but this is really some awesome stuff, So we're here basically to help each other. We help each other, we refer stuff to each other. We're all here benefiting each other. We're not here, for one person. We're here for all. And when you're excited about something, stay excited about it. Don't put it off. Go right into it. Richard and I are very excited about Greater Life for All. We're creating our own Greater Life for All. Well, we're creating it and we're doing it. We're not making any money doing it right now, but we're doing it, because we believe in it. We believe in what this can do. And another thing is, I talk about it now with my friends. I talk about it with some people at work, just to get the awareness out there, because it's just not for a few; it's for everybody. Greater Life for All is not for myself it's for everybody. And if you feel more and more comfortable about it and thinking about it more, you share about it more, and it's just doing goodwill. It's goodwill. I would say, instead of thinking about yourself, think about everybody else. Think about other people. How is this going to impact somebody else? If somebody asks you a favor or whatever, is your response going to come from myself, or is it going to come from the benefit of all? Obviously there has to be boundaries involved, because you can't be told to help everybody out, but within reason. Greater Life for All is about, you having a greater life in whatever way that you interpret a greater life today, and then living it and helping the people get there as well. And we're going to do this every week. Richard and I will share some new updates, some news or whatever, and keep this thing going on because we really enjoy it. And we're going to close out. Richard, anything you want to close out with?
Yeah, I just wanted to share a helpful little nugget for people who perhaps feeling overwhelmed or stressed or feel hemmed in, closeted, whatever, or problems with boundaries. I know, we've all got friends who you know, going through tough times, difficulties, you know, might be emotionally attached or involved, and it's hard sometimes to draw the boundary lines. Um, so I just, this is a little giveaway that I'd like to share with you. I'll be as quick as I can because I know Mark's got to go. And it's about creating a bubble. I'm not talking airy fairy Alice in Wonderland. I'm saying that, right, sometimes, you know, when we become so caught up in our work and meeting deadlines, whatever, or pleasing people, we can lose ourselves. And we need to return back to who we are and why we're here. And this bubble, here's a quick exercise. So if you find a quiet place, sit down, relax comfortably, back upright straight, hands on your knees facing, palms up, and then rub your hands together very quickly so there's some friction, bit of warmth. Turn them the other way, so your hands down on the top of the knees. Then with your eyes closed, imagine the heat traveling from your knees down the bottom of your legs to your ankles into the floor, and then, you know, just unwind, tune out of your current environment and into this fresh virtual reality you're creating. Imagine your feet going into the sand, warm sand by the sea. You can imagine the gentle ripple of the waves, and then imagine that heat traveling back up your body through your tummy, feeling your warm glow up your chest, down your arms and whatever. And then imagine yourself completely engulfed, completely enveloped by this warmth and feeling of contentment um, and peace and harmony, and get to that place of stillness. You know, often we are not still enough, long enough to hear our own intuition, and we ignore our intuition at our peril. But we're spiritual beings, but we have a gift of intuition, and I believe that we need to access it more to make it wiser everyday decisions. We need to make time for ourselves and not just be serving other people's needs or just quickly going down to-do lists or whatever. It's really important to make time for yourself and to connect with your truest, deepest core self, to get that understanding of why you're here, what you're here for, and then what next, and then operate from that. And if you can carry that experience a little bit further into the day, so don't just quickly snap out of it and said, "Oh, right, that's it. Right, I've got to do the washing up now, or tidying up, or hoovering, whatever." But you just carry that lovely, warm, ambient feeling a little bit further into your day, to integrate it a little bit more. It'll make a big difference. Um, there's a lot more that can be said on that. We have a lovely guy, Kieran, on the Reasonable Communities, who's done meditations for us. I think they're on SoundCloud and on Gumroad as well. Um, yeah, we want a greater life for all. I think stress leads to so many mistakes and poor health and whatever. And meditation is a good way of reducing and minimizing your stress and staying on top of things. Well, I hope that's helpful. And
Well, Richard, it's been a pleasure. And just greater life for all. It is what it is. And my choice is to have a greater life, live a greater life for myself and all. Because obviously we're all included. And so I'm signing off. Richard, you want to say bye to the world?
Yeah, well, goodbye, everybody. Looking forward to serving up some treats for you next week. I think let's see your submissions for this creative video or image or quotes and images. We'd love to see and hear what thoughts you have, and who knows, we'll mention you and quote you, and yeah, here for you. Thanks, Mark.
All right, bye.